Welcome to the Booze and the Bees podcast, and we're the Boo and the Bee.
Yeah, and today there's a trending video going viral on TikTok about a woman claiming that all men cheat. And the comment section had mixed feelings, so I thought that we could give our honest opinion and thoughts.
Yeah, I
But before you forget, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.
Can you guys tell this is our first video doing that one?
Well, he didn't want to prep and I wanted to prep. So this is what happens when y'all have mixed prep.
This is good prep. Yeah, I'm excited to see what's going on. Obviously, I have an opinion already just hearing the title. So we'll see what the comments have to say about that.
Okay, let's see what she has to say.
This is going to be really controversial, but that's what I do. So let's get into it, okay? All men cheat. Now, just hear me out. Let me cook. Now, when I say all, I do not literally mean all, but, okay, I mean a very, 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 very large majority, meaning a very, 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 very small percentage of men won't cheat. And let's just be for real. Every woman in a relationship right now does not have a man from that small percentage. Okay. All men are capable of cheating. Okay. Your man, my man, all of them. It doesn't matter how long they've been loyal to you. You put them in the right situation, they will do it. And if you don't believe me, then you're just not educated enough about how males operate. Okay.
Well, I mean, one thing here, when you insult the other party for how they think, that's already, you don't have a good point.
Right. Yeah, right. I agree.
Yeah. And you paused, did you have something to say real quick before I go into my part?
No, you were tapping my foot.
Yeah. So at first she says a very, 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 very small. It's okay. Well, where's the stat from? And I actually looked up some stats, and there are plenty that show that men and women cheat at approximately equal rates in relationships. And it's also less than 20% while they're young, while they're around her age. And as it gets older into the 60s and 70s, it actually gets a little wild. Those people at bingo night are going crazy, but it's still less than a quarter of the population does it. So to say that all men cheat just means you're putting yourself around cheaters and you're opening yourself up for bad partners. And maybe that's something you can look inward towards.
Also, I feel like it's impossible to have dated every man in the world.
It is.
And to make a really big statement like 1% of men will not cheat on you.
Yeah.
That's outrageous to me to be telling other women that and putting that in their heads, because I have someone who overthinks. If I came across this video and I wasn't secure enough with myself in my relationship, I would be taking this all in.
Yeah. And then what does it do for your life if you go to your partner just assuming they cheat all the time? Are you just going to start finding fights, finding things to be sneaky about, and then eventually forcing them to cheat? If you get to the point where you make them in trouble for cheating when they're not, they're just going to go do it because you're not it. You're not that partner that brings security to the relationship.
Right. Yeah.
So
let's keep going.
Now, I'm not saying that your man will cheat. I'm not saying that my man will cheat. I'm just saying if you put them in the right circumstances, they will do it. If the woman is attractive enough, if the man is aroused enough, and if they have enough privacy to where he genuinely believes he will not get caught, he will do it. That's all it takes. It does not take much to get a man to sleep with a woman. Because here's the thing, men do not sleep with women because they're, emotionally connected to them. They feel a connection. All it takes is sexual desire. And sexual desire is so strong in men, way stronger in men than it is in women. And that's the number one factor. All it takes is for him to be aroused enough. And if the circumstances around him are right enough, he will do it.
So she said one thing that I would say is more correct. There's a different chemical that's released in a male and female's brain when sex happens, where men will have it more as, okay, now that I've done this, I need to protect this thing, this person, not thing, but it's the same chemical that would have you take pride in what you own and want to make sure everything's taken care of, you're in control of it. Mm-hmm. Where women get something where it's, I belong to this, right? I need that connection, and you get really bonded. So It's a different reason for intimacy that goes back evolutionarily for hundreds of thousands of years. Women were able to say, okay, well, my tribe got taken over. I want my offspring to live, so the next person gets it because they need it. We need to. This is what we had to do to survive. Where men were disposable. They'd go off to war. If 5 men came back, they could still repopulate the village. So there's definitely more of a a sense of, it's just a fling, it's just whatever. I don't care about this person. I really care about my wife and I love them, but I don't care about this body. Whereas if a woman cheats, it's like they're already mentally checked out of the guy when they do it. Now, that doesn't mean that you're just going to go back to these biological markers and say you can't have thought. It's still not rational to be cheating on your partner. It's not a good thing to do. It has medical problems. It has potential future consequences like pregnancy. It's just not the right thing to do. Like, why are you spending time with somebody else when you should be spending it with your partner and your family and growing your community? So there's plenty of logical reasons not to cheat for a man. But the biological reasoning, I would say she's right on. But the logical reasoning, men wouldn't do it for so many more reasons than just biology.
So you were saying the part that was correct is like the part that they're easily like aroused in situations and stuff? Is that what you were agreeing?
Is that it's not an emotional thing all the time. It can be an emotional thing and often is an emotional thing with your partner. But, you know, guys would get with someone and not care at all. There's no feelings attached to it. And that chemical doesn't release in your brain that says you should be attached to this person and you should love them and care for them forever. That feeling doesn't come out in the same way. It's sort of, this is a biological thing. I want it. She hot. Let's get it done. And then don't think about it. Where women, once they get with somebody, it releases a chemical in their brain that says, I'm now more bonded to this person. And it becomes harder and harder to break that bond. So the more partners, the harder it is for you to bond with your final partner.
Oh, okay. I was confused because I thought you said that men got the bond and the protective bond.
They get more of like a protective thing where I can have multiple cars and not want anyone to hit my car. Not that women are cars, everybody watching. It's just an analogy to make it simpler. And I could want to protect all my cars. It's not like I'm dedicated to one car for my whole life. And you could say, okay, I have 5 wives. I love all of my wives. And I just want to take care of all of them and then build this huge family. And in a lot of the world, that's still the case, right? Monogamy isn't a thing that everybody practices. Mm-hmm. Now, do I agree with that? That men should just be out there doing that? No. And a majority of men don't have the resources that they could allocate towards their own family, let alone multiple. So I think it's a very bad call for men to be out there and doing that, right? I think monogamous relationships are work the best and statistically have worked the best for a long period of time, that men should be doing that. But you don't get bonded in the same way a woman would get bonded to one guy. They could go and get 5 women if it made sense.
Mm-hmm. Not about the woman being better than the woman that he already has. It's not about that at all. A man can know that he has a 10 waiting for him at home, but he'll still go and hit up 5 just because he's aroused enough and she's attractive enough and the circumstances are right. And then he'll go back to that 10 because he knows that 10 is everything that he wants and needs. That's what they do all the time. It's not about the woman having something that his woman doesn't. They just be horny. That's it. And they can't control it. 90% of them cannot control it. Even if you go way back in history, it was men who, most likely of power, who kept dozens, hundreds of women around them solely for the purpose of procreating with them. And
she's right there. I mean, for hundreds of thousands of years, it was the strongest dude and the king who had multiple women and bred with them. And in fact, many men, I think I'd have to look up the statistic again. It's about 40% of the male population ever procreated, but near 100% of women did. So that means that a vast majority of men never got to have kids throughout history. Mm-hmm. It was only like the top couple guys. But what is being misleading here is they're talking about feelings and emotions and not logic. And they're also not bringing into account how easy it is for guys to get something. They're saying if it's the right situation, if there's a 5, they're just going to cheat on their 10 and they would do it. That is absolutely false. There are so many people who are loyal to their wives and they would have options if they just wanted to do that. But they're like, no, I need to take care of mine. Mm-hmm. And the stats show it. The fact that it's less than 1 in every 5, 1 in every 10 almost couples actually cheat on their spouse. That means a vast majority of men aren't doing that. And I get what she's coming from in that they could easier, and maybe they could mentally get over doing it easier, but I would still say.
That's what you just said.
Yeah. So.
Earlier. But.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this comment says, I've never been confident or so sure in my life ever until now because of my boyfriend. He is the best kind of man, and I feel so incredibly proud to have him in my life. I'm so sorry for those with unloyal men. Just a little positivity to throw in there that not all viewers watching this video have a negative view on men cheating.
In some societies, it was the women passing a man's penis around to get all the women in the village pregnant and then throwing him out to the wolves when they were done using him. You know, instinctually and historically, men are used to sleeping with multiple women. That shit is embedded in their DNA. The proof is in the pudding. You can see the proof still today that men, they desire to sleep with multiple women, right? And I'm not, encouraging that or saying that it's right. That's just the fact. The proof is in the pudding, baby. It's very rare to come across a man who can control that urge within him. It's very rare. I'm telling you, those rare men, they're not in the same places. They don't do the same things. They don't act the same ways as the rest of these dudes. So 9 times out of 10, you got you one of the majority who, in the right circumstances, will cheat on you. And look, I'm not trying to get you to go start an argument with your man or nothing. I'm not saying don't trust your man. You shouldn't be with somebody you don't trust. But I'm just saying, don't put nothing past a man. If you ever get that feeling in your gut, trust your intuition, because he could be loyal for 5, 10, 15 years. Baby, there are so many cases where men have been with their wives for 20, 25, 30 years and still ended up cheating after that long. And it's because the circumstances were finally right. And you know what? A lot of men will even pride themselves on, hey, I've been loyal for this long, right? So look, it just came to my mind. I just wanted to share this with y'all.
Yeah.
But are we going to talk about Ariana Grande or the Kardashians or Will Smith's wife? Like, there's many cases of women also cheating, and it's a really bad message to put this out onto social media that it's a majority of men are horrible. It's a very small minority of men that get those opportunities. So let's start there. And it's much fewer that would actually do anything based on those impulses, even if they got that opening. So just for anyone out there is, don't give up on love, and also don't be sneaky. You're going to force them to cheat if you're going to treat them like they already did. You're going to get them in trouble anyway.
Right. Yeah. Like, obviously there's been circumstances, like she was saying, 25 years, and then he just gets the opportunity. Like, I'm sure there's just usually always a case behind it where they haven't slept together in years, or they're not talking, and it doesn't seem like there's ever going to be intimacy ever again. And it's just like, well, you're doomed.
Yeah. I mean, and that's definitely a good case. It shows in the stats that when they get really old the sex drive goes down. And if your partner isn't willing to anymore, what are you going to do? If that's still a drive that you have and your partner doesn't, you can't force them. Is that a better alternative, is you force them to?
Right. I just don't think it's fair to put this narrative into people's heads that it's like there's only a sliver of a chance you'll find a good guy. That just sounds so unreasonable, and it makes all of us put up this wall, and all of us now get to just live in fear forever and ever and ever that, oh, well, my man's going to cheat on me no matter what I do in life. It's just going to happen. Like,
how does that make you a better person? How does that strengthen your partnership?
Right. No, if anything, all these thoughts now are just pushing them away, and then, it's going to happen. You're going to prove the point.
Oh, I was right, and now I'm lonely.
Yeah.
So who cares?
This comment says, I've been with my husband 20 years. I got that gut feeling 3 times, and once I was able to prove it and exposed him.
So that means that she had a feeling that he was cheating 3 times in 20 years, and one of those times she was right. Out of those 3 times that she says she has a gut feeling, what if she really got into him about it?
And not even that. I know when I would have a gut feeling in the past, I wouldn't be open with you about it. And so then I would just hold on to it. Mm-hmm. And you're just holding on to it and just being negative all day. And now you're negative for life because you never addressed it. Mm-hmm. And now you're just pushing your partner further away.
Yeah, 20 years of someone holding this in and thinking you're cheating, and then, oh, I found it once, so I was right. I'm like, you could have definitely been pushing him away for 20 years. What could you have been doing? If you thought he was cheating, it's like, well, what could you do to be a better partner? Maybe. And not to say that he was a good guy. We don't know their story. Maybe he was just a scumbag.
Right.
But it doesn't help you, just like you said, to hold on to that. What if he wasn't? What if he was? Either way, you're having a bad time. So there's no point in holding on to it.
This comment finally got the gut feeling after 4 years of dating. So I've been trying to look through his phone for a few weeks.
Yeah, that's healthy. You think that's healthy?
No, it's very much not healthy. You're just looking for your feelings to get hurt, and
You're not satisfied until they do get hurt.
you're being sneaky and deceitful to your partner, and you're putting that energy out, and your partner's going to receive that energy.
And then they'll dump you, and they will actually go see those other women as a single man.
Right.
So why are you bothering with that?
Yeah. Women, be by yourself. Protect your womb, please.
Well, maybe the protect your womb part. I'm kind of down with that. Protect your womb. I wouldn't say be alone. I'd say go find a
Protect
husband
your womb, yeah, till you're ready.
until you're
For
ready
sure.
to have a family, and then go
Yeah.
find a guy who's going to support you and your children for the rest of your life and hold your hand when you're 80.
But no, not
That's
the
what you
not the
want.
be by yourself part.
No, that why bother? Go live in the woods at that point. Like, what are you doing? Be a little.
Go be a monk.
Go be a monk. Ooh, yeah, you could be a monk. Go do that.
Yeah. This is so true, even if it's micro cheating. Now, I wanted to address this comment because everybody's boundaries are different. So making sure you're completely transparent with your partner about your boundaries is just overall going to help.
And doing that early in the relationship is great.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, her boundaries could be different than my boundaries are with somebody else. And you might say, well, their boundaries are completely unreasonable. Well, then you're probably not their partner,
Right.
right? There's someone else who those boundaries aren't unreasonable for. So get it out the way. If they're not on, if they don't have the next 5 years out, and it doesn't mean you have to get with them now on the first date and are we going to be together for 5 years?
Yeah.
But you can kind of suss out within the first month is like, do they have the kind of morals that I like? Do they have the kind of life I like?
Right.
If there's a problem that's so large that it's like you just aren't on the same path as me early on, you can sort of flush that out within a month.
And be reasonable. You can't just go to your man and be like, don't look at a woman.
Oh, yeah.
Don't talk to another woman. And then you see them like catch a glimpse. And
I knew it. Time to look through their phones for 4 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. Because then you just get all these crazy scenarios in your head. Like, be kind to yourself, be kind to your partner, be open about your boundaries, be open to your boundaries changing, and just have trust until they break it.
Yeah. And also, and just for women out there, I want you just to feel more comfortable about this. Men have a really hard time picking up women. So if you're with somebody who's really good at picking up women, it's normally not very good for you because men don't get a lot of choices out there.
Yeah, but also like don't not be with someone because like they're
They're good with people.
attractive or they have a charisma and they're
Yeah, just don't put everybody into the category and just look for the people with a good heart, you know. That's all I'm getting at is they don't have a ton of options. They're not just out there and okay, they can get another girl's number. When they're with you, they're so grateful they don't have to hit the dating market. The dating market for men sucks. The amount of rejection is absolutely immense before they get any contact and then they get ghosted. So if they get some play, you know, good on them, but they really don't have as much opportunity as you think. And they don't want to go back to not having opportunity.
right.
You're probably amazing for them. And the only reason they'd want to go back to the hell that's dating for men in their 20s is you being hell at home. So don't be hell at home and they won't cheat on you.
Don't be hell at home.
Yeah.
All right. Nice.
Cool. Well, I think that's a quick episode, but I think it's a good episode.
Yeah, our episodes might become quicker,
I
and
think
that's
we're-
okay.
I think we're gonna, yeah.
We still, I feel like, give a lot of good information to the point. Right? Y'all got the point. Comment if you got the point.
Yeah, come on if you got the point.
And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, take care. We're gonna end with a boisterous laughter. Ready?
Guffaw.
Guffaw! Say it at home. Are you saying it at home? You better be saying guffaw. Or not. I don't control you.
Okay, bye.
I'm across the screen. Maybe over an ocean. So guffaw. And good night. Do we say guffaw and good night?
Bye.
Guffaw and good night. Sounds like some Christmas song.